Hey then everyone, it's Juan Romero here from SwitchWatch. Welcome back to our weekly news roundup where, as you might have guessed, we give you the latest Nintendo Switch news that every Switch owner should know about. With our first Direct of 2019 being shown midweek, it's fair to say there's a lot to cover. We're here to make sure that the big blowout doesn't overshadow the rest of the news, but we'll also recap on some of the biggest headlines. As always, we'll be splitting this video up into a few sections, starting with the cold hard facts, followed by the rumours, and then some smaller game announcements that happened this week. Get comfortable, get a cup of tea or coffee, and stay with me for the news roundup. Before we get into it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to stay up to date on all our great Nintendo Switch content. Let's get into it. To start with, we had some astonishing news from very early in the week. According to Perfectly Nintendo, who have been keeping track of releases on the Nintendo Switch, the system has now surpassed 1,800 games in less than 2 years. That's pretty insane. Not all of them are going to be the AAA first-party titles, of course, and this number obviously includes a lot of shovelware and cheap, janky mobile ports. But if you've been following our reviews, you'll know there is plenty of quality out there too. It seems that America is the region that has the most games released, with 1,702 titles in the eShop, and while Japan is lagging heavily behind with just over 1,000, I would joke that Japan is more selective of the quality of their games. But I'm sure there's about 30% of those that are Japanese visual novels. Now, do you think this many games is a good sign, or is there just way too much on offer and you'd rather Nintendo separated the wheat from the chaff? Now, in terms of that Direct, I'm sure that many of you have watched it. It was on Wednesday if you've missed it, and we're sure for those of you that didn't, many of you have watched this all the way through. But I'll pick a few highlights here. Nintendo announced a 3D imagining of the Game Boy Classic Link's Awakening, due to be released later this year. And then we have Platinum Games that revealed a brand new IP that they've been working on alongside the Bayonetta 3 franchise, Astral Chain. We're definitely looking forward to anything that these guys make. We also got a release date and some gameplay footage of Fire Emblem Three Houses coming in on the 26th of July. And to the surprise of many, we got a look at Super Mario Maker 2 as well as a DLC for Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. We had some Final Fantasy and Tetris 99, a Tetris Battle Royale of all things, as well as demos for Daemon X Machina and Yoshi's Crafted World. What was your favourite reveal of the Direct, may I ask? And have you been playing any of these downloadable demos? Now, one of the shocking omissions for me anyway on the Nintendo Direct was the indie sensation Hollow Knight is getting a sequel. And if you're not sure what all the hype is about, check out my review of the first Hollow Knight, link coming up above. Anyways, in this sequel, it's been named Hollow Knight Silk Song, and it looks like Team Cherry are going to take that familiar formula we all love to the next level, featuring a female protagonist, a whole new kingdom, a mind-blowing amount of new enemies, bosses, friends, and also a more acrobatic playstyle. What started out as a project for some DLC has turned into a full-blown sequel, so props to Team Cherry. We can't wait. Are you looking forward to Silk Song? What did you think of the original? Did you think it was a masterpiece like I did? Or did you think it was overrated? Let us know down below in the comment section. So our next news piece is a combination of some facts intertwined with a little bit of rumour too. Last month, data miners discovered that Nintendo Switch Online showed evidence that Super Nintendo games were going to be added. 22 games in total looked ready to be unleashed, and in no doubt had many people excited after the drip feed of NES games that we've received thus far. In a recent turn of events, however, all evidence of these games have disappeared when the app, alongside the update with the latest 2 NES games. We honestly find this a little bit perplexing. Are Nintendo trying to cover their tracks, or was it an honest mistake? Maybe they decided to pull it at the last minute due to unforeseen circumstances. Either way, many Switch owners will no doubt be a little bit disappointed, as there were some absolute classics in that list of SNES titles, and I think we can all admit that the 16-bit system has held up significantly better than its NES counterpart. Are you disappointed? Which Super Nintendo game would you dream of playing on the Nintendo Switch. And moving on to some smaller game announcements, ones that we feel won't blow your socks off necessarily, but especially wanted to showcase some of these this week due to the Nintendo Direct taking a lot of attention away from these smaller indie releases that weren't involved. First up, we have Colt Canyon, a twin stick shooter that is heading to the Nintendo Switch later in the year. No solid release date, only a Q3 window. Check out the trailer though, it looks pretty decent. Blaze Rush, an arcade racer from Tarjam Games, has been announced and is releasing very soon, next week in fact, so you don't have to wait too long. And despite the lukewarm reception to the first two Switch releases, RBI Baseball 19 has been announced for the Switch on March 5th. The latest Sega Ages game has been announced, and it's a bit of a surprise. Alex Kidd in Miracle World may not be the most well-loved entry in the series, but then again, that means it could be one most worthy of a bit of TLC to iron out some issues. So which of these games are you looking forward to the most? Do any of them pique your interest? Leave us a comment with your thoughts on the topics we've discussed today, and drop a like if you're enjoying that new content we're bringing you. It really helps us understand what our audience wants to see. If none of these take your fancy, then how about checking out some of our recent videos? I recently had fun with the arcade action of Iron Cryptical video coming up above. Jordan was busy sneaking around like a ninja in origami, and if the recent reveals have your wallet begging you for mercy, we also put together a handy video of all the free games currently on the Nintendo Switch, so take your pick and we'll see you over there. If you love this segment, then we'll see you on our next news roundup next week. My name's Juan Romero from SwitchWatch. I'll see you again on the next one. Take care.